Welcome to Unbiased Sport Babbling with Epic Sport Moments. Introduce yourself.
You did it for me, mate. Epic Sporting Moments. TikTok. That's about it. There's a bit of YouTube. Bit golf vlogs coming up soon. But yeah, apart from that, TikTok. Get onto the YouTube. Bit of streaming, and yeah, I'm a bit like you. I babble. But I babble about anything,
Babbling.
any sport.
That's why I call it babbling, mate.
I'll just throw my opinion in the ring, mate, and half the time it's wrong, but it don't matter. At least you're passionate in it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll put your links in the description so anyone can. Not that I have bare people watching me, but who knows? One day they might come back to this video when I do, and they'll be like, "Oh,
no, wait, I'll put it on my TikTok, mate. I'll put it on my TikTok."
Yeah, exactly.
On my TikTok, yeah.
How many TikTok followers you got now?
Yeah, 109k now.
Yeah,
109k. It's slowed down, mate.
I get 5. I get gas when I get 5 extra followers. I'm like, yeah, man. But I've got a few questions that I'm going to be asking anyone that comes on. Yeah, it's just standard football questions that I feel like I always want to know. And that's your favorite team. I already know this, but tell the people. Even though right now they might not be your favorite team. So maybe
no. I'm not the one to move about. Massive Chelsea fan. But I'll be honest, football has been hard for me recently. I'm probably not as much as a fan as I was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was like fucking football crazy. But now I'm into other sports as well. Like, yeah, I still love football, don't get me wrong. Like, but I won't watch League 2 games on TV now, if that makes sense. Like, back in the day when I had all the spare time in the world, it'd be like, oh, who's playing tonight? Exeter versus Accrington Stanley. Yeah, I'm all over that.
Yeah.
Now it's like, yeah, skip that, mate. Skip that. What's on NFL or something like that? But yeah, Chelsea. I've got soft spots for other teams, but nothing in the Premier League. But like, you know, your Portsmouth soft spot. Sorry. Like where we're from, like Cheshunt.
Yeah, Cheshunt.
I'll say that. I'll say it out loud. I was from Cheshunt. People are going to be like, yeah, try and dox this cunt now. But no. I'll keep an eye on them as well, like local team and all that.
They were doing all right last season. I don't know about this season.
No, last season they got relegated, mate.
There was a season that they were doing decent, but years ago quick.
Yeah, year before that they got promoted. So last year they was in the national.
That's what I was thinking. The year before that,
it was the highest they've ever been, and they went straight back down. In this season, like there was actually in my local team the other day. They faced off against them, and I went to go watch them, and yeah, they're pony, mate. They're fucking pony. They're so bad. Yeah. I was like, what have I just spent 10 quid to watch non-league teams go at it?
10 quid now. Wow,
mate. Back in the day, used to be £1, and you still get a pint with that.
Yeah,
like, £1 for an under 16 ticket, and you go in and get a pint.
Yeah,
nowadays 10 quid,
10 quid,
mate,
and you get nothing. So next question, yeah. Favorite player of all time?
Oh,
put you on the spot.
Favorite is that favorite player or like the best, like
not best player,
or your favorite player?
Like your I'm gonna say your favorite player. Player that if you could like
rewatch again.
It's hard because you might say like someone else to rewatch, but like someone that you just loved personally. It might be Solomon Kalou. But like it
definitely ain't him. It definitely ain't him.
It ain't him, but like I know, do you know what I mean? Like if he's your favorite player, then he's your
no disrespect to Kalou, mate. He was a great player for us. Nah, to be fair. Sorry, someone's screaming outside my house. I don't know if you can hear that shit.
A little bit, not really.
Oh, fucking dickheads building.
It's all right.
No, I would say Gianfranco Zola, or even like Ronaldinho. I know he's not Chelsea, but Ronaldinho was back in the day, being like 12, 13 years old and watching Soccer AM and watching Ronaldinho just every week. You're like, yeah, you wanted to be him, didn't you? You wanted to be him, like roll up the socks like him, wear the gold boots and stuff like that, get out in the park and try a flip flap or two. It's him, Zola. There's other Chelsea players and stuff, but like they're my favorite to watch. Like Zola was like when I first started watching football. My God, like he was years beyond his time. Like he just controlled the game like no one else did, and
he was.
This guy, they'd like people won't understand how good he was because we're talking back to the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
And he was like even playing in the 80s. But like that shows my age when I might as well go
this
back
was
and
what
say
I was
that.
going to say, like when kids are watching this and they're like, Zola's so good on FIFA. Like,
Yeah.
or Zola sucks on FIFA, mate. He was crap. Like, that's what they're going to judge him on now, how good they are on FIFA.
Mate, it makes you feel old. Like when there's a guy at work who's 19 and he's talking about football to me the other day. And I said, yeah. Said back in the day, like Di Matteo, Poyet, like players. He was like, who? Who are these? I was like, because he's an Arsenal fan. I was like, yeah, I remember when Kanu scored a hat-trick against us. He was like, who's Kanu? Like, yeah, Kanu. He's like, oh, no, I weren't born then. I was like, shut up, you. Shut up.
The thing is as well with this thing of these, with the ages, like, obviously you get youngsters that really know their shit and they've like proper football fans will look it up and know and stuff. But it's like, yeah, like Ronaldinho and stuff they'll know, but some of these more unknown players they won't know as much. Like not unknown, but
it works with us as well. Like if I know you're a bit younger than me, so 90s it might be a bit harder for you to remember. But like if someone said to me about the early 90s and 80s, wouldn't
it's true, it's true. But we lived in a golden generation almost, mate. So we were like, you've got to know this guy and that guy and this guy. Like, oh mate, it's like the amount of
we grew up with like Soccer AM just started to come out, like more TV showing like Italian league, German league, Spanish leagues, and then you got like YouTube popped up out of nowhere 2005, and I can remember like people going, "Do you remember the Joga Bonito thing going around YouTube like that?" Joga Bonito. Yeah, you got to see these players, they're doing these skills, and then you've got to send a video into them. And like, I can remember being in the park, like 13 years old, trying to do kick-ups just to join this Joga Bonito video.
No, honestly, like I'd see all these disrespectful comparisons with Thierry Henry now, and I'm just like, you never watched him play. When I see somebody on it, I'm like, you never watched him play. You don't understand. Like, that's someone who's like one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, I mean, football's changed. Football's changed in the 20 years, but like, yeah, you get these players back then that still play well now. And him, like, in my opinion, Zola, the Lampards and things like that, they'd still play well now, even that's 10, 15 years beyond that time.
And another player, which is one of my favorites ever, Bergkamp, and he gets so much crazy disrespect now. It's unbelievable when I see what people, Bergkamp weren't that good, this and that. I was like,
he was technically gifted. Like, there's no way about it.
Like, but listen, we'll go on a tangent with that all day. And this one's going to be a tough question. The last one, you can put a few out there. Maybe it's easy for you, but your favorite ever match that you've watched?
Oh, live or in just
no,
TV?
Just a match that stands out to you. You're going to have a few, man. You've won a lot, Chelsea, so it might be one of them matches.
Champions League, 2012.
Yes,
I'd be lied to say 2021 because I only watched 30 minutes of it because I had to go to a restaurant, which is worst thing I've ever done in my life. Who goes to a restaurant when your team's in the Champions League final? This guy does.
I feel like you might have had in your head a little bit at the same time if you're not going to win. Like,
no, I didn't expect us to get to Champions League final. I wanted to watch it, but I had to go for other arrangements. We booked months in advance.
Yeah,
and it was soon as it finished.
Adult life.
Yeah, as soon as it finished, I went to my brother-in-law's house, and I was like, "You got to switch it on now. You got to switch it on now." And it was like, turn it on. 30 minutes left, and everyone in the house to me then was just not even there. Props.
Yeah.
I was just
at least
focused.
You got the final 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, at least I saw us win it. And 2012 was enjoy him. 2012 was different though. 2012 was happiest day of my life, and like I said, as a married man, like, but also like it's a bit off, but back in 2001, it was my first ever game, and it will never be beaten in my life that I watched. It was Chelsea West Ham. We won 4-2. Go fuck yourself, West Ham fans, that is. And there's a player called Mario Stanic, and so I was 8 years old at the time, and Mario Stanic, mate, he scored the best goal I've ever seen in person, and there always ever will be. Like, he juggled the ball come down to him, he juggled it 2-3 times and volleyed it into the top bin, and that was the first goal I ever saw live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then he done fuck all for us the next 3 years. But
yeah, but fuck it, he's got that moment. He's my favourite ever player.
I remember I've seen it, and I was with my uncle, and my uncle was like, "This guy, wow, he's different." About a year later, everyone's sitting around going, sell him, he needs to go. A bit like Havertz, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does something good. We go, oh, yeah.
The thing is, I actually feel like Havertz won't be as bad as people think he will be at Arsenal. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater, but I don't think he's going to be. Like, I think he's a solid player to have in the squad.
He's technically gifted, but he's got so many mistakes in him.
Yeah, the thing is if we can get a tune out of him in the way we play football, but we'll see. But I'll tell you what, the one that I'll say about you guys that I feel like you made a mistake giving us is Jorginho. All right, cool, he fucked up against Spurs, but he put in a masterclass for me against City.
Yeah, I liked Georgie, but I don't think he'd make the Chelsea team now. When you spend 200 million on 2 midfielders,
well, yeah, the problem is, be there. Yeah, the problem is for me, like the thing is with me that I like him is that experience on the bench, like that. He's just that guy. Like I don't think he's good enough to be in our like starting 11, and he's someone who next season that's the end of his time, you know. But for these couple seasons with our young squad, I think having him to come on sometimes, you know, I obviously forgetting the Spurs game.
He calms the game.
He's the dark arts as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the dark arts. You love him if you got him. You hate him if you're playing against him.
He'll knock the ball about left and right, but it's just he can become a right liability if you've got no one alongside him that can't run, because he can't.
Yeah,
he can't run.
See, for me, the perfect thing for Jorginho in our team is you're winning the game 1-0, 2-1. You've got like 20 minutes, 15 minutes left, and you're defending out the game. You bring on Jorginho. You're not going to be caught on the counter because you're not actually fully going for it, or you're winning 2-0. You're not fully going to attack, so you're not going to get caught on the counter and that. You just have him sitting there mopping up a bit.
He's good for pressure. Because teams press you, he finds spaces and just keeps knocking the ball about.
Yeah,
that's his game.
But he is slow as fuck.
Yeah, like
so slow. That's where you can't.
That's why I don't think he'd fit into Chelsea now, because Chelsea are quite
the way you play.
Yeah, we don't control it as much as we did back in those days, like a few years back. We now just, if we get the ball, it's like straight away we have to go forward and press as well. He's not very good at pressing, but
yeah,
he'll control the game. But I wouldn't see him in a Chelsea team now. But
nah,
it's because
to be fair,
Enzo in the middle.
I'm not a person saying I'd want like for me, Jorginho gets into our current squad, but like we should have a better current squad, in my opinion, if you know what I mean. So
yeah,
I was more
upset when Georgie went to Arsenal than Havertz.
Yeah.
That's when Havertz went to. If you asked me, like if he went a year ago, Havertz, I'd have been devastated. Like last summer, I would have been so upset, but this summer when he went, I was faint. I thought, yeah, good, get rid of all of them. Like him and Mount, like they've had their chances.
Not a Mount lover, you're not a.
No, I was. I really was. But last year, I just thought, what a prick.
Yeah.
Like, who does he think he is?
Well,
it's just demanding so much money. Demanding so much money. You're thinking, what have you really done? Like, have you ever had that one season when everyone went, he's world class? It was always the conversation with him was, yeah, he's all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
But now you look at it, James Maddison comes into Spurs, and Maddison's playing like 20 times better than Mount ever did for any spell. And that conversation, I remember being like, oh, Mount was better than Maddison, Mount's better than Maddison. But Maddison's gone to a good team and made him better.
But Mount hasn't. I'll tell you what, though, the talking about that conversation, the conversation that used to go around for a while was Mount, Foden and Saka. And they've just left him.
Yeah, and Foden and Saka
and they've left, and they're younger than him, and they completely left him in the rearview mirror. Same with Jadon Sancho. He was like, there's the famous funny video of Sancho going, but how many goals did you score this season to Saka? And then just like since then, Saka has just obliterated him in stats and everything and performances, and he's just a better player than Sancho right now.
Well, for England, Mount doesn't get in.
Yeah,
how would he? How would he? He wouldn't get in.
It's crazy. But let's talk about the Premier League. Let's talk about the Premier League.
Yeah. We have a little drink before that, sir.
You need that drink.
It's pure vodka in this, mate. That's what it is.
But yeah, man. What do you think of the Prem so far this season? What do you think about the level, how it's going?
Level hasn't changed. Level hasn't changed for 4 or 5 years now. I think Man City changed everything. Man City changed everything back in, well, they brought out 2008, but they changed everything since 2012, 13. Games, the league can't get better in terms of quality. Like, how do you get players better than what they are now? Like, the league's a joke. The league is an absolute joke with talent, 100%. apart from like Luton.
Who, that guy's straight back down, let's be honest.
Yeah, but it's good in the way that every single week you're going to watch these teams battle it out like they do, and it's brilliant football. But at the same time, it's going to be bad for newly promoted teams. They'll never stay up. It'll be hard to. Like Leicester probably will stay up next season. They're going to get promoted. They probably will stay up, but it's purely for the money. Like, if you're not in the Premier League for 1 or 2 seasons, you're not getting that. You're not getting the dollar. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. It's literally that. It's you're gonna have the same every season. You're gonna have the same 4 or 5 teams battling it out. 3 of them are going to be the newly promoted sides. Sometimes one of them might survive, but they're going to be near the bottom because they just haven't got the caliber of players.
It's nice to see more teams battling for top 4, but even though Man City aren't top now, you just know when it comes to past January, they're going to go on a 13-game win streak and win the league again by 10 points.
Yeah. Do you know what the thing is? Do you know what the thing is as well? I think with like the league now, I look at it and I'm like, back in the day, it used to be like 6 teams at the top and then everyone else. Now you've got.
You're being generous to Spurs there, mate. You're being generous to Spurs there, calling it.
Well, yeah, let's say 5. Yeah, but like, let's say 5. Yeah, you had the guy, but now it's like you have these top like 5, 6, sometimes 7, 8 teams battling for the top 4. But then I feel like then you've got like the mid-table from like 10 upwards, but then everyone below 10 downwards is like even worse. Like there's now like 3 steps of levels in the Premier League.
Yeah,
it used to be like the top guys and then everyone else. Now it's like the top guys. Then there's like these guys like your Brightons, your Brentfords, even though Brentford ain't doing great this season and stuff. And then you've got the newly promoted sides. You've got Bournemouth. You've got the past few years, Everton, Wolves have gone down there. So like I feel like now the newly promoted sides, as you said, there's not much chance because you're struggling to get above them, let alone the top guys.
Look at the money involved. It's a joke. Like the amount of money that goes around the league. If you're not in the league for 1 or 2 years and you're not getting that TV money, good luck to you, mate. Unless you get bought by the Saudis.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like the problem is the Premier League might end up being all Saudi owners. Therefore, the Premier League will end up kind of being like the Super League in a sense.
Well, we voted against the Super League, and it's already happening now with the Champions League next year.
Well, yeah.
This year the Premier League is now top 5. And then next year, the Champions League turns into a league system.
For me, the top 5, I'm all in for. I'm all for that. I think that the Premier League does have at least 5 teams every season that would deserve to be in a big competition. Yeah. That being said, the format of how they're doing it, like, why not just add another group or something, or 2 groups in the Champions League?
They're making it too big. They're making it too big.
I'm going to be honest, right? I don't like there's a reason I don't like the Champions League, right? And it's because
you never won it.
That is one of the reasons. Yeah, if we won it, I'll be like, we love the Champions. Nah, but I'm an Arsenal fan. For people that don't know, if you can't see the flag, yeah.
You're about to say there's a big giveaway.
Yeah, but nah, it's because they say it's the elite of the elite fighting it out, but it's not. Because I'm sorry, if you're saying it's the elite of the elite, there is no team from the Ukrainian league or or like the fucking these other leagues in the competition. Like, let's be honest. Like, you get certain teams in the competition and you're like, mate, Brighton and Brentford are better than them. You know?
I don't think the Champions League cares anymore. I think
that's the thing. It's not.
They're trying to get as much TV money as they can. That's why you've got the Conference League, Europa League, Champions League's getting bigger, and then they're making the Club World Cup. I know they've already got it, but now they're making it into a proper competition where it's going to be during the season. So Chelsea, I think that's next year. Chelsea are in it because they won the Europe a few years back, and it's like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea, all the teams that won the Champions League recently, and then how many times these players got to play?
Yeah, it's nuts.
There's going to be more and more injuries every year, but it's just more and more money thrown at it. Soon enough, it'll be like American football, where it'll be Arsenal versus Tottenham. We're not playing at the Emirates. We're playing at the MetLife Stadium in New York. Yeah. Or we're going to Beijing, China, and we're going to have a Premier League game out there. Because as soon as that happens, mate, football's dead then. Like top league football will be dead.
I feel like that will happen maybe soon with the Champions League.
Well, they tried it with La Liga. And there was a massive uproar. They wanted to play Barcelona, Real Madrid in America.
The best bet for them to do that would be doing it in the Champions League, right? They couldn't do it in the Premier League. It would never work. Fans would never allow it. But the Champions League, because they're kind of not really, but they're kind of implementing that a little bit in the World Cup and that now, where it's like it's no longer in a country. Yeah, and the reason, like, people be like, "Oh, that it is better for me because it means when the World Cup comes around, you've got a good chance of seeing like because if it's in like Africa, like when it was in South Africa, it's a bit hard to get out there for games and stuff for certain people. So like you might have a couple games in like Germany, which ain't far or something like that. So I do think that's good, but it's so they can use all the biggest stadiums in the world as well.
Yeah, it's
this one's going to be at the San Siro. This one's going to be at Wembley. This one's going to be at the Bernabeu. You know what I mean? This one's going to be at Bayern Munich Stadium. Like, so, because when they go to these countries, they're not going to be using like the fucking... They're not going to come and use Luton Stadium, are they?
No.
World Cup quarterfinals, Luton Stadium. You see people.
World Cup final there. Imagine that. That'd be so good. World Cup final. Everyone has to go through the away fans, the away stand bit. Go through someone's garden. That'd be so good.
Well, England's got the final. Is it of the World Cup?
Yeah, England. It's the Euros, ain't it? England and Ireland won the Euros. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it is Euros, not World Cup.
Yeah.
World Cup.
So here's the thing for me. England, we have to win that. Because if we don't, that's it. That's the second chance we'll have of winning.
Ain't gonna win it. Not gonna win it.
Not with Southgate in charge, but yeah,
no,
that's for another video. But yeah, man, who do you think's gonna be? Who do you think's gonna be the surprise? I want to ask you this as a two-part thing. Like, who do you think's gonna be the surprise team of the season, and who do you think's gonna be the surprise player of the season? Don't have to be a new player or anything. Just someone that you think this season.
Aston Villa surprise team anyway for the last year. Have you seen how many points they've won this year?
Yeah,
they're just behind Man City. That amount of points they've won in 2023 is it's kind of an obvious surprise because people now should be taking notice of them. A surprise player, I don't really know. I'll probably be biased and say like a Chelsea player, but then they're not really surprises when we spent 50, 60 million on an 18-year-old from Denmark or whatever. So they shouldn't be surprises when we spent that much money with them. The only biggest surprise I would say is like, Sancho, how bad he's been. Like his career. Like that's shocking.
What about Mudryk?
Well, Mudryk's played all right this season. He's played better. He's played better. I was fed up with him. Yeah, I mean,
the money was insane for him. I feel like you saved us because I'm not going to lie. Probably in the future he'll be better, but like after we lost that, we went and got Trossard for 20 million.
The football's inflated now, ain't it? So
yeah,
he hasn't had a great start, but the last few games he has played for us, he's actually played half decent. So he's still not worth 80 million, no, but he's showing a little bit more than he did. But then,
yeah,
look here, your three midfielders went for over 100 million this summer.
One of them ain't even played yet.
Say Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, and Declan Rice went over 100 million.
Oh, yeah.
No one's worth that. No one's. I mean, I know I'm going back in the day. I remember, right, Match Magazine back in the day, and they had an article about Ronaldinho and that he was worth 45 million. Yeah. And they said the teams that could afford to buy him, it was Chelsea and Real Madrid. And people were like, there was things about it saying £45 million for a player is an absolute farce. Who the hell Yeah, who could imagine that now if Ronaldinho was playing? You say, yeah, quarter of a billion. It would be like,
Yeah.
two-
Yeah, no, it's
200
nuts. It's nuts for me, that the
so
money now. It's for me, out of the three that you've just named, I think that Declan Rice is the one that's worth most close to the wage and the price, and that's because I think taking into consideration stuff that shouldn't be a thing, but English tax
yeah,
and
that's
the
a thing.
fact
Yeah.
it is a thing. It literally is. So like the English tax and the fact that we're taking a team's captain, a team's like from what you think is their like talent, like their main guy, he's proper West Ham through and through in a sense.
A Premier League team won't sell to another Premier League team for what they're worth.
Exactly.
West Ham didn't say Rice is worth 100 million. They'd say, look, he's probably worth 60. But we want 100. Simple as that. Because you're buying a rival captain, England.
Young. I think he's been quality for us though. I'll be honest. He's been real good.
He has been good. But I mean, I think all three players that have been over 100 million have played well. Caicedo didn't start well at Chelsea, but last few games, no one's spoken about him because he's just done his job brilliantly.
Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez.
No. Listen, I knew Caicedo would be good in the end. I like him. I wanted him at one point. I wanted Declan Rice over him purely because I feel like we needed a bit more that leadership sort of role in there. I don't think Caicedo will ever have that. He don't seem like that sort of player. He's more like a Kante sort of player in the sense of he just does his job. He'll obviously talk to people and that, but like it's different when you see like the way Declan Rice is to Caicedo. I'm not saying ability wise, saying just like
it depends if you need that. It depends if you need that player. I mean, let's be honest. Since the days of Vieira, how many times does a conversation come up with Arsenal that they need a leader, a captain?
Well, exactly. So exactly,
it just hasn't happened. I remember when you had who was that guy up top that broke his leg years ago against Birmingham?
Eduardo,
yeah. Now that year you was top of the league, weren't you? And then he broke his leg, and then he lost the league, and everyone was saying the same thing, saying they needed a captain because your captain at the time I think was like Gallas or something, and he was sulking on the pitch.
Yeah, Gallas crying at the halfway line. Then he wants to talk about mentality nowadays. I keep seeing him talk about mentality on Sky Sports now. I'm just like, you had no mentality. You cried in the fucking halfway line when you fucked the league.
Yeah, and kicking the hoardings and things like that.
Like, what's going on?
KSI versus Tommy Fury punching the fucking TV screens and stuff like that.
But yeah, man. But quickly, let's wrap it up because it's fucking hell. We've been going for half an hour. Not that that's an issue, but yeah.
Issue for you editing, mate. That's what it is.
Yeah. But last thing, what do you expect for Chelsea this season? Where do you expect Chelsea to finish?
Top 6.
You think?
Top 6, yeah. That's what I'm expecting. And the outcome is two different things. I mean, I know the amount of money, like, we should be winning the league with the amount of money we spent. But then the talent that we've brought isn't necessarily for now, it's also for the future. So,
yeah, bit like what
if you brought 100 million... Yeah, if you put £100 million worth of player and they're 28, 29, you expect the full outcome now. But we've been buying for... You're right there.
Yeah, I was just checking. Something moved on my mic. Does my mic sound fine?
Yeah, it sounds perfect, mate. Sounds fine. Cool.
Yeah, carry on.
Nice little mic, actually, isn't it? Not bad. But yeah, we've brought for the future, and that's a massive risk. But at the same time, the amount of money you're pumping in, you want the outcome now. You want the...
Yeah, that's the problem. The money you've spent isn't for a future team, is it? Like you've overspent and given fat contracts to stuff where it can go one or two ways, isn't it? Like, you could end
up. If they start playing, if they start playing brilliantly, you go, like they're on 7-year, 8-year deals tied to this money, and they got them, that's brilliant. But then if they start playing poor and you got to try and offload them, like, imagine if Enzo Fernandez, and I hope it doesn't happen, he suddenly next week pops his knee out and he comes back a year later and he no longer has that right foot. Like he no longer can ping a ball. It can't happen. You can't get rid of him. You can't say to teams, oh, you need to buy him and he's on a 7-year contract. So we need to make a bit of money. 7-year contract tied down for like 150k a week. I don't know the maths, but like you're paying that person 30, 40 million pound guaranteed.
Yeah.
So you need to try and then get that money back and then plus a little bit more. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen.
And then you paid all that money for him. So you're going to want to recoup as much of that. But then how much is someone going to pay you? That's the problem, isn't it? Like this.
Yeah. Top six. It has to be top 6. And even then, if we finish 6th, that's still not good. But I think we can. I'm saying
I hear
that.
I hear
I'm thinking that the teams in the
You've
head
got to
that
be
are better than
positive.
us.
And the thing is, I want to ask you this. I know your answer is going to be Man City, but who do you think is going to win the league?
Man City. Man City.
Yeah, simple as that. Listen,
I know you beat them, and it was really good to see that. But at the same time, January they're going to win 13, 14 games on the trot, and we just go, "There's Man City." Rodri and De Bruyne
just
come
hope
back and
something can happen.
Bats everyone.
Let's just hope something can happen.
Just not Arsenal.
Listen, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment below what you think.
Do what this man says. Come on.
Yep. Listen, bet Epic Sport Moments. It's going to be.
I can say my name. People know my name. It's fine.
Don't worry. Okay. Oh, okay. I did because I didn't ask before. I was like, yeah.
Oh no. People, yeah.
Everything's going to be in the description. Check him out.
I got nothing to hide, mate. Don't worry.
I didn't know you might have a criminal record now, joking. But
just don't do my search history, mate. That's it.
Listen, Unbiased Sports. Peace.
Sweet.